Good morning, students. Hope you wrote your exams well. I'm back here to teach you the next lesson. Children, before UT, we completed lesson 10, that is refraction and dispersion of light. So now, let us move on to the next lesson, that is human eye. So lesson 11, human eye. So we already learned that in our eye, we have convex lens. So eye has a lens which is convex and which is forming a real and inverted image. And we are able to see the objects very clearly. So today's class, we will discuss about the different parts of human eye. Human eye is spherical in shape and its diameter is 2.5 centimeter. So, human eye is spherical in shape. The shape of human eye is spherical and its diameter is 2.5 centimeters. There are some parts in the human eye which is performing different functions. So, the object, how we are able to see the object? So, the light which is coming from the object is entered into the eye through cornea. So cornea is a part of the eye which allows the light to enter inside the eye. Okay. Then behind the cornea, we have aqueous chamber. So aqueous chamber consists of aqueous humor, that is a liquid which is present behind the cornea. And then after that cornea, the first part is cornea, and then we have a dark colored muscular diaphragm. So this is called as iris. So this iris gives color to the eyeball. So you might have seen different people having a different colored eye. So that is because of the iris. So iris gives color to the eyeball, and this iris regulates the amount of light entering by adjusting the pupil. So, first part is cornea, the second part is iris. Now, we have pupil. So, what is a function of pupil? So, pupil appears black in color. So, the black color what we are able to see is nothing but the pupil. And this pupil will not reflect any light from it. So since it is not reflecting any light from it, it appears black in color. Okay, children. So this pupil has a capacity to adjust itself. So in dim light, the pupil will enlarge so that you can see the objects very clearly, and in the bright light, the pupil contracts. Okay. So then we have the next part, that is eye lens. So this is nothing but the convex lens what we have learnt, right? So the light entering the eye is focused by using the eye lens. Okay. So through the eye lens is a transparent one where the light which is coming from the distant object is passed through the lens and it enters into the other part of the eye. Okay. So the eye lens is held and in its position, and its focal length can be changed. The focal length has to change depending upon the object, whether it is near or far. So that adjusting of the eye lens and the changing of focal length is done by one more part in the eye, that is called as ciliary muscles. Okay, children. Then the last part is nothing but the very important part in the eye, which is acting as a screen, that is called as retina. So retina is acting as a screen where the light which is coming from the distant object is made to focus on the screen through which we are able to see the images. The image which is formed on the screen is real, inverted and diminished image. Real, inverted and diminished image which is formed on the screen, that is called as retina. So this retina has photoreceptors. So what do you mean by photoreceptors? Why it is called as photoreceptors? Because photo means light. So they are nothing but light sensitive cells. So in retina, we have two light sensitive cells. One is the rods and the second one is called as the cones. So rods are responsible for seeing during the dim light. So rods help us to see the objects clearly during the dim light, and cones are the cells which helps to identify the colors. Okay children, so this is regarding the retina. So the parts are cornea, then we have aqueous chamber, then iris, then we have pupil, eye lens, ciliary muscles and the retina. Now let us move on here children. So this is the eye, where the diameter of the eye is 2.5 centimeters. So the diameter of the eye is 2.5 centimeter, and here you can see very clearly the curved transparent medium. This is nothing but called as cornea. So cornea is the first part of the eye which is protecting the entire eye. Okay, and then behind the cornea you can see some dotted lines here. This is nothing but called as aqueous chamber. So in aqueous chamber, aqueous humor, that is liquid, will be present. Okay, then after this aqueous chamber, here you can see the dotted lines in the center of the eye. That is nothing but called as pupil. So this pupil is occurring black. Why? It is appearing black. Why? Because it does not reflect any light. So next to the pupil, we have here the brown color, what you call it as here part, brown color part, that is nothing but called as iris. Okay, so this gives color to the eyeball and it regulates the amount of light through by adjusting the pupil. And then we have the lens. Okay, this is the eye lens, which is a convex lens. So the light which is coming from the distant object passes through the lens. And here top, here and there, we have the bottom and top, we have the ciliary muscles. So ciliary muscles will be adjusting the focal length. It helps the lens in its position. That is what we discussed. The function of ciliary muscle is to hold the lens in its position. And here the outside one, that is nothing but the brown color one, is eyelid, and we have that is eyelids and eyelashes. Anyway, you will be knowing it. And through the lens, the light ray passes and reaches to the next important part of the eye, that is nothing but called as retina. So children, here you can see very clearly the yellow colored line. So this yellow colored line is nothing but the retina. So in this retina, we have all the blood vessels. The blue color and red color, what you are able to see here, these are all the blood vessels, that is arteries and veins. And then after retina, we have the junction here, one nerve. So this nerve is nothing but called as optic nerve behind the retina. So this optic nerve connects our eye to the brain. Means it carries the messages from eye to the brain. So optic nerve is also one of the part of the eyes which is carrying the messages from eye to the brain. And in between the junction of this retina and the optic nerve, we have a blind spot. So why it is called as blind spot? Because this is a position where there are no rods and cone cells. So when there is no rod and cone cells, this part is insensitive to light. That is why it is called as blind spot. And here down you can see very clearly children, that is a retina in the section. So where you have the red color and the blue color lines here. So the blue color lines are called as rod cells. So this rod cells are helping to see the objects clearly in the dim light. And cone cells are the cells which help us to give the color. So red color ones are cone cells and blue color ones are rod cells. So this is about the human eye and its parts. So children, I think you have understood the parts of the human eye. Once again, So we have cornea, then pupil, then we have iris, ciliary muscles, lens, retina, optic nerve, and you have the blind spot. And in retina, we have two different types of cells, that is rods and cones. Thank you, children. I hope you understood. Have a wonderful day.